MINIKISS was born in Cove, Utah on January 7th, 1978. He's the second of 10 children born to Heidi and John Jeffrey Kies, a couple who didn't believe in government interference, public schools, or modern medicine. Kies was a toddler when his family left Utah for Washington. They lived an isolated existence in the woods, where Kies grew up without heat or electricity. While in Washington, Kies' parents left the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and became fundamentalist Christians and joined a white supremacist church. In the late 1990s, the family relocated to Maupon, Oregon, where they next moved across the country, settling close to an Amish community in Maine. Growing up, Kies broke into the neighbors' homes to steal guns, loved hunting, would pursue anything with a heartbeat, and tortured animals, behavior that has been linked to psychopathy. While in custody, Kies himself said, quote, "I've known since I was 14 that there were things that I thought were normal and were okay, that nobody else seemed to think were normal and okay," end quote. After a teenage Kies told his family he no longer shared their faith, his father cut ties, but he remained close to his mom. In July 1998, Kies joined the U.S. Army. He did well as a soldier, spending time in Egypt, at Fort Hood in Texas, and Fort Lewis in Washington. After his honorable discharge in July of 2001, he lived on the Makah Reservation with the mother of his daughter. Kies received a DUI while in the Army, but otherwise had had no trouble with the law. Per Wikipedia, records indicated Kies was awarded the following military decorations, service medals, and awards: Army Achievement Medal, Army Service Ribbon, Marksman Badge with Rifle Bar, Expert Infantryman Badge, and Air Assault Badge. Former Army friends of Kies have noted his quiet demeanor and that he typically kept to himself. On weekends, he was reported to drink heavily, consuming entire bottles of his favorite drink, Wild Turkey. He was also heavily into the music group Insane Clown Posse and had several large posters hanging in his barracks room. As a serial killer, Kies targeted victims who happened to cross his path, rather than sticking to a specific profile. He would often wait to accost people in places like parks, cemeteries, or campgrounds. Not as much to choose from in a manner of speaking, he said to a law enforcement about his methods, but there's also no witness and no one else is around. Kies also traveled to kill. In 2011, he flew to Chicago before driving to Vermont, where he murdered Bill and Lorraine Currier. He had a history of trips that covered a lot of ground in the United States, meaning he had many opportunities to seek out victims. Foreign journeys, such as visits to Canada and Mexico and Belize, may have played a part in Kies' killing spree. While on the road, Kies would pay in cash and take the battery out of his cell phone to lessen his chances of being tracked. Kies' serial killing incorporated detailed planning. He crisscrossed the country to hide caches of murder equipment that consisted of guns, ammunition, and chemicals for the destruction of bodies. When he wanted to kill, Kies would dig up a cache. Kies studied the work of FBI profilers and learned about serial killers like Ted Bundy. In Maureen Callahan's 2019 book about Kies, American Predator, she noted that he had been fitted with a gastric band and had visited a plastic surgery clinic in Mexico. She speculated that Kies might have been trying to become a better killer. A lap band could mean he wouldn't get as hungry as often, and he might have changed his fingerprints or removed body hair to lessen the chances of leaving evidence behind. Before killing Samantha Koenig, Kies acquired her cell phone, ATM card, and PIN. After taking the time to go on a cruise, Kies staged a ransom demand with Samantha's dead body. Her family, hoping she was still alive, deposited money into her account. Kies used Samantha Koning's ATM card to withdraw funds in Alaska, then continued these transactions while traveling in New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas. He disguised his appearance, but a security camera recorded an image of his rental car in Arizona. Texas law enforcement was notified, and in March 2012, they stopped Kies. A search of his car revealed, among other incriminating items, Koning's license. Shortly before being captured, Kies spent time with his mother and some siblings in Texas. During this visit, his sister tried to get him to reconsider his atheism. A pastor present at the time has said that Kies answered, quote, "You don't know the depths of darkness that I've gone to. You don't know what I've done," end quote. While being held in jail at the Anchorage Correctional Complex on suspicion of murder, Kies died by suicide on December 2, 2012 via self-inflicted wrist cuts and strangulation. A suicide note found under his body consisted of an ode to murder, but offered no clues about other possible victims. In 2020, the FBI released the drawings of 11 skulls and 1 pentagram, which had been drawn in blood and found underneath Kies' jail cell bed. The FBI believes that 11 is the total number of victims.